Yes, I hope I'm live now. So this week, welcome to, first of all, welcome to Bliss Consciousness Healing Session. And this week I have amazing book and an amazing healing session for you. So first of all, let me quickly share my screen so you can see the presentation for today. So there we go. Today, October 31st, 2020. And today's schedule, we are going to review the Map of Consciousness Explained. It is a beautiful book written by David Hawkins. And then followed by, we will do our healing session, raise your vibrational frequency. So helping you raise your vibrational frequency, because the book is all about understanding our vibrational frequency. So that's what we're going to discuss about. And it would be amazing for us to implement all the knowledge that we are learning from today's session immediately in that meditative state. And then followed by a silent mantra meditation. While doing the silent mantra meditation, you will be given a specific mantra, and you just have to repeat that silently in your mind. So that's what a silent mantra meditation. And then last 10 minutes of the session, we will be doing a manifestation, helping us raise our vibrational frequency, live from a different point of frequency level. So that's our schedule for today. Before I begin, I would like to let you know that Bliss Consciousness Healing Sessions, where I was offering it in a closed group of circle prior to last week, and it was from last week that I started offering it as a public live YouTube live streaming. But what I have kind of done is changed the Bliss Consciousness payment method, into a donation based method. So basically what you're experiencing today is a donation based service. And if you're interested, you can click on the link below and give and do a donation if you choose to do that. All right, let's get started. The Map of Consciousness Explained, and today we are going to look into Map of Consciousness, the scale of 0 to 1000, as well as we are going to talk a little bit about the power of love, consciousness calibration, how to calibrate the consciousness of different people, different books, different music, different things, different objects, different teachers. You can calibrate absolutely anything that you want in this world, and you can do that on the scale of 0 to 1000. And then we are going to discuss about the having, doing, being, and how we are kind of raising our levels as we move through this process of spiritual growth, maybe the right word. All right, so here is the Map of Consciousness from the book. And as you can see here, right in the center, the log shows us a level of 20 all the way up to 700 to 1000. So this is what they call as the Map of Consciousness. And at this bottom level, which is 20, is shame, the emotion, the energy of shame. 30 is guilt, and then slowly it goes up to 50, which is hatred, and then 75, grief, 100 is fear, 125 is desire, 150 is anger, 175 goes up to pride, and then courage is 200. Now 200 is a major break point. Less than 200, it's considered as being in falseness, and then above 200 there is that beautiful shift that happens in humans. And 250 is neutrality, 310 is willingness, and 350 is acceptance. We move into this place of accepting everything in our lives. And then 400, the range of 400 is where the reasoning comes in. 500 is love. The energy of love vibrates at this 500 frequency level, joy at 540, and peace at 600, and enlightenment comes from the range of 700 to 1000. So this is what the whole Map of Consciousness is all about. It's a beautiful scale between 0 to 1000, and we have the ability to calibrate the truthfulness. So I feel what this is kind of helping us do as well is helping us to identify truthfulness, how much someone or something is aligned to the highest truth of all. All right, so let's quickly move on. So the levels, as I already discussed, it is kind of giving us different levels of different range of emotions. Now, one major point that this particular book describes is that one level is not better than the other because each level has its own responsibility. Now, looking at the map of consciousness, we might think, all right, so a level of 200, which is courage, is so. For example, the level of 500 love is better than the level 200 courage, right? Which is not the case. The book says that one level is not better than the other. So if your vibrational frequency at this time, let's say, is 250 at neutrality, it doesn't mean you have to strive hard to keep raising your levels to enlightenment. Rather, each of these different levels, each human being on different levels have different responsibilities, have different things that they are here to do. And there is importance for each of these levels. So it is not that you have to strive hard and push to, try to reach the enlightenment. That's not the whole point with regards to the map of consciousness. And it is absolutely not a tool of judgment. It's not about judging somebody, oh, you are at 500, you are at 600, you are at 300. That's not how it works. Each level has its own importance, its own responsibility. It's just we understanding what level we are in and being the best that we can be at that level. All right. Understanding consciousness calibration. So how is this all calibrated, right? So every person is born with a calibratable level of consciousness, which is an energy field. So each of us, as you might already know, we all have our own energy field. Within the infinite field of consciousness, there is the infinite field of consciousness within which we, the single entity, has its own energy field, which can be calibrated. The technique we use for consciousness calibration is the living clinical science of muscle testing, which utilizes the human nervous system. Now, muscle testing is something that has become very popular these days, especially with so many different healing modalities, holistic healing modalities that are using muscle testing. So I hope most of you who are watching this video at this time is aware of what muscle testing is, and that what it means is, simply put, it is in the presence of truth, the body's musculature goes strong. In contrast, it goes weak when confronted with falsehood. So usually muscle testing, we can do muscle testing in different ways, but one of the ways is how they do it with ring finger test is what it's called. So when you're saying a true statement and when you're trying to pull your fingers, it usually is strong. When you're saying a false statement and you're trying to pull your fingers, it goes weak. So for example, I'm saying, okay, I am Vishnupriya, and it stands strong. And if I'm saying I am Rosie, it goes weak. So that's what muscle testing is all about. Just a simple example there. The map of consciousness is a reference guide to the spectrum of consciousness, charting the calibrated levels of energy, similar to how a thermometer, for example, measures the levels of heat. A barometer measures the levels of atmospheric pressure, and an altimeter measures the level of elevation. So just the same way, this is just a meter with which we can calibrate, or we can test, identify a level of human consciousness, not just for humans. For example, this book has so many different examples of how you can even use this meter, so to speak, to calibrate the amount of truthfulness in a particular book. For example, if I'm taking a book to read for next week, I can use the same meter to identify, okay, this book calibrates over 600, over 700, and I would be able to see where is the vibrational frequency of that book, which tells me how much it is in alignment with the highest truth of all. Levels of consciousness. Not surprisingly, for example, the energy of Mother Teresa, calibration of, so the person, Mother Teresa, is calibrated at an of consciousness level of 710. Now, she was very different from that of Adolf Hitler, for example, who calibrated at the level of 40. And most people calibrate somewhere between them. Music, movies, places, belief systems, books, political leaders, ideological positions, animals, intentions, all life emit an energy that can be calibrated as to its essence and its degree of love and truth. For example, if you're taking a book that absolutely contains fear, that is spreading fear, right? There is so much news, for example. If you take a newspaper and if you try to calibrate it, it might be, especially a newspaper that consists of just information about fear, then it might most likely be vibrating. The frequency of that newspaper will be vibrating at a level of 100, for example. But if you take a spiritual book, just like the Map of Consciousness explained book, and then you calibrate it, you might see it 700, 750, anywhere around that range. So that's what this means. On the Map of Consciousness, each level of consciousness is calibrated on a logarithmic scale of energetic power to the base 10, ranging from 1 to 1000, where 1 indicates existence and 1000 at the top of the map indicates highest level that has ever graced in this planet Earth. It is the energy of the Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, all of them, these beautiful spiritual leaders or gods, if you want to call them that way, all of them calibrate at the level of 1000. The level of shame 20 is at the bottom, which is close to death. And the level of courage 200, which is a critical point of truth and integrity. The level 500, love, is the gateway to the spiritual domain. And here are a few more metrics for you to think about. The fastest way to move from the bottom to the top is by aligning with truth and love. 85% of the world's population calibrates under 200, which accounts for the vast suffering on the planet. So this is also, so while this book was kind of written and all of these metrics were calculated, I feel it is at least 10 years back, which would be about 2005 to 2010 range. And most of the other metrics that David Hawkins have created comes from a little even behind, about 1995 to 2000 time frame. So at that time, when this calibration was done, it was found that 85% of the world's population is calibrating less than 200. One individual at the level of 500 counterbalances 750,000 individuals below 200. Now, what is this counterbalancing? From the book, I'm able to understand that, let's say, if this whole world, this whole planet Earth, all humanity, if all of us are calibrating less than 200, the Earth itself cannot sustain. The Earth would have been disrupted much, much before. But there are few individuals who are vibrating, calibrated above, let's say, 400, 500 or above. And looks like every single person who vibrates at 500 is helping 750,000 people who are vibrating at less than 200, and that's the power when we reach 500 or above. Another notable discovery is that family pets calibrate around 245 to 250, and I've also seen nowadays pets are even vibrating at a very, very high frequency range of 400 to 500 even. And their nature is benevolent overall, which means we are safer with a cat or dog than with the majority of people on the planet. So these beautiful pet animals, they vibrate. A lot of pet animals that I've personally seen, they vibrate at love or above, about 500, and they're as well helping this beautiful planet Earth to keep the vibration raised and helping us humans to raise our own vibrations as well. Someone can test you. So it is, the muscle testing can be done by any humans on planet Earth. It is not that you need to, have some kind of instrument to do it. Someone can even test you by pressing down your arm while they say. So how David Hawkins usually does the muscle testing is by asking somebody else to keep their hands straight, and then somebody else, that is you can press down their wrist or towards near their wrist with just 2 fingers, just pressing it down. And when when you're saying a statement and if the hand stays strong, then it means it's true. And if your hand goes weak and goes down, it means it's false. So here is one of the statements that you can use on a scale from 1 to 1000, where 1000 represents the great avatars. Courage or the truth is over 100, is over 150, is over 175, is over 200. So that's how you know. And after 200, at 200, the arm will go weak. That's how they kind of calibrated, okay, courage is at the level of 200. Above 200, when we say that statement, the hand goes weak. And he, in fact, done this with, I think, 100,000, 200,000 people. So it's not just he tested it with one person and got this information. He has done, I think, like 30 to 50 years of research in this field. And database of consciousness. Individual human mind is like a computer terminal connected to the giant database. So we are talking about the muscle testing, right? How is it that my body knows why is my body strong for a statement versus weak? How does my body or my muscles know the truth of all? And the answer to that question is that our human mind is connected to that field, the giant database, infinite field. The database is human consciousness itself, of which our own consciousness is merely an individual expression, but with its roots in the common consciousness of all humankind. So it's like you can imagine all human beings are connected to this one infinite source. And therefore, our muscles have this ability to weaken when we say something false and become strong when we are saying something true to the infinite source, for example, the highest truth. The database transcends time, space, and all limitations of individual consciousness. This database is the realm of genius because to be human is to participate in the database. Everyone, by virtue of their birth, has access to the genius. All right, isn't the level of love 500 better than the level of reason 400? Now, as I mentioned already, looking at the scale, this is the first thing that we might think that it's better to be at 500 than to be at 400. And here is the answer given by David Hawkins. The map does not denote better than, which is a projection of the ego. The map merely denotes position or location that in turn denotes associated characteristics. Each level is suitable for that which it is. Somebody at 700, let's say, is not suitable as a carpenter, is not suitable to run a church, for example, and is not suitable as a president. Most sages are the ones who are vibrating at this level of 700 or above, and most sages at 700, they just cannot function like that at all. A sage cannot, even if you do give them an option to become a president, they wouldn't accept it because they just cannot live that life. And that's the problem, when at different levels, we just cannot fit into another box. So that's what each of these levels represents. They just sit in their ashram and people come to say hello as they smile happily back to them. That's the best thing. That's what they are able to do. That's what they are capable of doing. And by being, just by being, they are doing what it is that they are here to do. The 200s and the 300s, the builders of the world, the construction workers, the steel workers, the people who go to work every day at the backbone of the society. And as I mentioned, even people who are at 200, 300, we don't have to look at them with contempt. They are important for the world. They have their own responsibility. They play an important role in our society. As I said, a person at 700 wouldn't be interested to become a construction worker, then who is going to do the construction work that we need on planet Earth, right? And those are done by those at 200 and 300 because they are willing to do it. They are happy to do that. The 400s is the world of the intellect with its logic and reasoning, which dominates America. And even one of the testing that he did for the United States, USA, the average vibrational frequency of USA was found to be 421, and therefore no surprise, people around the range of 400s are in the United States, which is why the average of all of the United States comes up to be 421. And of course, as we can see, They are the kind of, the world of intellect, the logic and the reasoning and the technology, and so much is being developed in the United States because most people in that particular country is kind of vibrating at that level that fits them to be that kind of person. The realm of 500, which is love, is rare, with unconditional love at 540 being extremely rare, and upwards of 540, there's practically nobody. It isn't that 500 is better than 200. It's just that you are in a different space, like being at a different place on a map. So depending upon where you are in this map, also, so for as I said already, a person at 200 gets their happiness by doing something different, versus a person at 500 gets their happiness by doing something else. So where you are in the map decides what gives you happiness, what gives you the meaning to your life. And all of those levels are required, are important. And there are two critical fulcrums. On the map of consciousness, two critical fulcrums allow for major advancement. The first is at the level of 200, the initial level of empowerment. Here arises the willingness to stop blaming and accept responsibility for one's own actions, feelings, and beliefs. So that 200 level is this first stage of empowerment that humanity receives, and they start understanding, okay, I'm creating my life. I take responsibility for my mistakes. I stop blaming others for my sickness, for my sadness, whatever. The second is at the level of 500, reached by accepting love and non-judgmental forgiveness as the lifestyle, exercising unconditional kindness to all persons, things, and events without exception. So the next kind of fulcrum point is at 500. When a person reaches 500, he or she transforms into this loving being, accepting others and just loving others unconditionally. And here is a beautiful map that I kind of got from the book. And it made me think a lot, which is the level of, so this kind of compares the level of consciousness with the rate of unemployment, with the rate of poverty, happiness rate, and the rate of criminality. So let's begin from the bottom. So if the level, so at the level of consciousness less than 50, there is about 97% rate of unemployment, 65% rate of poverty, 0% happiness rate, and the rate of criminality, so the criminals, 98% of people less than 50 level of consciousness end up being criminals. So this kind of gives us an awareness about where the unemployment or the poverty or the happiness or the rate of criminality all associates. Now, as we move along and raise the level of consciousness, we can see as the consciousness level raises, the rate of unemployment is decreased. And in fact, at the range above 500, there's literally no person vibrating at a frequency of 500 above or above is unemployed. Whereas a person, the people who are less than 50 level of consciousness, 97% of those people are unemployed. And rate of poverty again corresponds with the rate of unemployment here. At the level of 500 or above, there is absolutely no poverty, meaning money in abundance comes automatically when you raise your frequency vibration, is what I'm understanding from this particular beautiful map here. And the happiness rate, 100%. So people above 600, as we have already seen, 600 is a level of peace and joy and love and happiness. So this also proves the fact that the happiness rate of people above 600 plus is 100% happiness, whereas people less than 50, 0%, they are absolutely hating their lives. As you can already see, they are at the level of guilt and shame and I think it's hatred, 50. So that makes sense as well. And of course, rate of criminality, obviously, people who are above 500, there's literally 0% criminals from this range of level of consciousness. I really loved that map there. So A beautiful another paragraph that I got from the book was what was the secret of the successful doctor. So the book discusses about how certain doctors has patients who were getting, for example, allergy for something, whereas other doctors who kind of prescribe the same medicines, those patients did not have any kind of allergy that they were developing, and they were kind of looking at, okay, what makes difference. Dr. David Hawkins saw that the healing effect related to their level of consciousness. The higher the physician's level of consciousness, the more likely the patient's way to heal. This would make sense to spiritually oriented people, but how to present it to society steeped in a rational, linear mindset? How to demonstrate that it's the inner consciousness that determines outcome and not the outer actions? It is not what if the physician that you go to, it is not the pill that they prescribe to you that is healing you. In fact, it's the level of consciousness of that particular doctor, of that particular physician, that is actually helping you heal. Who would agree to it? Who doesn't have this information with them, right? So they understand the level of consciousness. And this beautiful verse is from the book, The Dalai Lama, for example, has an energy field or level of consciousness that is expansive and loving enough to handle immense amounts of life energy. So he radiates out high levels of healing energy, we might say. His inner state of joy and love bubbles over with humor, laughter, kindness, and compassion. Most people, however, do not have the same capacity to be a high energy conduit to others because their inner attention is routinely focused on their own needs, thoughts, feelings, and agendas. So these beautiful spiritual leaders who walk across the planet is actually just by being who they are, emitting that beautiful energy field, that their energy that they possess itself is healing the whole planet actually. So how beautiful that is. The main point that the book wants to convey to us is whether you start at the beginning or the end of the book, you will find that the book circles around this center point. We change the world not by what we say or do, but as a consequence of what we have become. And what that means is what it means to this word called become is our energy field. So today, if I am blaming and complaining and being in that lower level of consciousness, I'm not contributing to the world. And at that level, even if I'm being a teacher or I'm doing something, healing work or whatever, still then if my level of consciousness is low, then I'm not doing any good to the society. So the first thing is for us to focus on ourselves and raise our vibrations, raise our level of consciousness, and bring in more love and forgiveness and compassion to people. And from that level, even if we don't do anything, even if we don't, do anything for the world, step out and do teaching or whatever, still just by being that energy field, that higher level of consciousness, we are already contributing to the world around us. Dr. Hawkins affirms that even the tiniest increase in our own consciousness benefits the world at large. So first always comes from within us. We focus on ourselves and improve and keep improving ourselves. And that's when we can serve the world around us as well. And the book also goes over the power of love. Love is so powerful. He says that one loving thought in a day cancels out all the negative ones. If you notice a stray cat walking across the street and you send it love and hope for its existence, that undoes the cursing that you did all morning at your mother-in-law or teacher or whomever you were mad at. So how beautifully said. If you had so many problems around you and you were mad at somebody, you were fighting, you were, in that anger point, and then suddenly in the evening you see a cat and you feel loving, you feel the love for the cat. It cancels out all the negative emotions that you had been feeling throughout the day. That's the power of love. And that's why when you have a pet at home, just by looking at the pet or being with the pet, releases all of those negative emotions, and it helps us cancel out so many negative emotions that we are going through in our day. The planet is full of people trying to change the world, but doing so only at this level of symptom and not at the source. So obviously, the book again says that we cannot change the world by stepping out and trying to change and fix others. Rather, it's about we fixing ourselves, we changing ourselves. Greatness comes from within. It is the courage to change oneself. The message of this book is vital for our society as we change. As we change, the world itself is changed. If we are motivated by love, if love is what moves us, then everything we touch and everywhere we go and everyone we meet will be made better because of what we have become as a loving person. Love is the silent power that inspires, heals, uplifts, encourages, and improves everything. And here is a beautiful case study. Betty, who was a client of Dr. Hawkins, Betty was 34 years old, but she looked much older because she was thin and drawn. She entered the office carrying armloads of paper bags, which we later found to contain 56 different bottles of health store preparations, vitamins and nutritional supplements, plus several bags of special food. Her fear had started out as a germ phobia, and soon everything around her seemed to be possibly contaminated with germs. She had many fears of contracting contagious diseases, which had progressed now to a fear of cancer. She believed every scared story she read, so she was afraid of nearly every food, the air she breathed, and getting sunshine on her skin. She wore white clothes because she was afraid of dyes in the materials. So the book also describes a lot about her fears. She literally had fear about everything in the world. Her fears were so paralyzing that every therapeutic manual was totally extinct. I, here refers to Dr. David Hawkins, was totally baffled and racked my brain for weeks as to how I could possibly help her. Finally, I let go. I experienced the relief of surrender in that I just totally accepted this fact. There is absolutely nothing I can do to help her. The only thing left to do is just to love her. And so that's what I did. I just thought of her lovingly, and frequently I sent her loving thoughts. I gave her as much love as I could possibly give. When we talked on the telephone, and finally, after a couple of months of love therapy, she had sufficiently she got sufficiently better to come to the office. As time went on, she improved and her fears and inhibitions began to diminish, though she never did develop any insight on what has happened. I was surprised how a person can be healed by not us teaching anything to the person, by not us telling the person to release the fear and there is nothing about the fear or anything of that nature, not trying to give them a healing session. Rather, just by us sending this frequency, this energy of love towards another person, that in and itself can transform another person and completely heal them. So this case illustrates the concept that a higher vibration such as love has a healing effect on a lower vibration in this patient's case, which is fear. Fear, which is at the range of 100, can be transmuted and transformed when we vibrate at that level of 500, when we are sending the energy frequency of love, which is vibrating at 500 to a person that who is vibrating at this level of 100 with full of fear, that energy frequency can uplift this person to come out of that fear frequency. This love is the mechanism of reassurance, and very often we can quiet another person's fears by our mere physical presence and by the loving energy that we project to them and with which we surround them. It is not what we say, but the very fact of our presence that has the healing effect. And this particular statement had been coming to me again and again through different sources, through different books, which is especially me as a holistic healer, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching my videos are as well holistic healing practitioners. So it is not the tools that we use, it is not whether we use theta healing or psyche or whatever different holistic healing modalities that we practice, it is not the tools that we use that is healing our clients. In fact, it is our energy field, it is our presence itself that has the healing effect. So the better we become, the easier for our clients to heal themselves. And this beautiful portion in the book, which is having, doing, being, this is an amazing content that I would like to talk about, but I see that we are over time. So I welcome you to maybe read this yourself, and I really love this. I don't like to miss it, but it's a beautiful way which says about as we raise our vibration, we are moving from this in giving importance to having, right? At the lower frequency levels, we think we go from, okay, what do I have? And then slowly we move on as we raise our level of consciousness. Then we think about, okay, what am I doing in this world? That's where the importance goes to. But at the level of 500 or above, the beingness, what am I being? This energy field that I am, that's what gives us the most satisfaction. That is where our importance, our mind goes into, okay, what am I being today? Okay, here is a testing technique. On the scale of 0 to 1000, where 700 represents enlightenment, this book calibrates at, or this particular person calibrates at. You have the ability to calibrate and test anything that is present in this world. All right, so I'm going to skip that slide as well, just to save time here. It's a beautiful slide again. And here is another chart of which shows us the different calibration of different teachers. For example, people we know, I know here, Mahatma Gandhi vibrates at 760. Mother Teresa vibrates at 710. Patanjali vibrates at 715. Ramana Maharishi vibrates at 720. And here is another chart which tells us the creator of all that is, vibrates at infinity. Archangels vibrate at 50,000 plus. Christ, Buddha, Krishna, Brahma, all of those beautiful incarnations vibrates at 1,000 or above. And there is, so much different range that is being given here. So when we are meditating, when we are connecting to the creator of all that is, the reason why we experience such high vibrational frequencies, because they are at different vibrational frequency, and that itself helps us raise our vibrations. All right. So silent mantra for today is clean. So we will repeat that mantra in our minds as we are doing this healing session today. And it is a beautiful seed mantra of Kali, the primordial feminine energy. Her considerable power is invoked to help burn away negative ego. Again, this helps us raise our vibrations. And the book for next week, I somehow got so much inspired of Mother Teresa as I was reading this particular book today, which was the Map of Consciousness. So I thought, who else would be the best person for us to learn how to be at that higher level? As we have seen, she was vibrating at 700 when she was alive. So who else can we learn this beautiful divine virtues of peace and love and compassion? So that's the book we are going to read next week. If that book interests you, you can read it as well. That's it that I have for presentation. So we are ready to get started with our healing session. You can drink some water and settle down in a comfortable position. All right. You can close your eyes and try to keep your back as straight as possible. And take a deep breath
And I'm going to be silent for a minute, allowing you to connect with your inner being in this silence. Beautiful. Just being silent, just keeping our minds silent itself puts us in this beautiful peace, vibrations. And feel the peace as you breathe out. And imagine beautiful white light all around you. And see it carrying away all the negativity, all the clutter. And see yourself being surrounded by this white light. This white light of unconditional love. And slowly come down from your mind into your heart. And see this beautiful spark of light in your heart. And expand this light, this white light, throughout your energy field. See it expanding in all directions. And feel that vibration of your heart. When you connect with your heart, you can already feel your vibrational frequency racing. And when we do a meditation, especially this particular healing meditation, what we are doing is we are raising our vibrational frequency. Too high up, it might go to 800 to 1000. And then when we come back down, slowly we come back and hit our normal average level. But every time you raise your frequency and then come back down, slowly you keep raising your average set point. And that's how you raise your vibrational frequency. So allow yourself to experience this true bliss that comes from absolute silence. When your mind is blank and just in this nothingness, consists of this beautiful high vibrational existence. And expand your energy field, this beautiful spark of light, like a balloon, expand it throughout the building you are in. And expand it. As you expand your consciousness, you create more space. And with the space, you will be able to heal yourself, release any trapped emotions, Release the negative beliefs and the falsehood. Release all that which doesn't serve you for your highest good. So keep expanding. Imagine, visualize your energy field expanding in all 6 directions around you, above and below, right and left, front and back. And see this balloon expanding throughout the country that you are in, and slowly expanding into this throughout this planet Earth, touching the sky above, touching the heart of Mother Earth below, and in all 4 directions, touching the horizons of planet Earth. And from this expanded awareness, expanded consciousness, see this beautiful light of love coming from your heart and spreading throughout planet Earth. Let's take a moment to feel love, to send love, and spread your beautiful love for the trees, for the birds, and imagine, visualize this pure white light of unconditional love just pouring out from your heart in huge, humongous quantity in all 360 degrees, and see your love touching all the trees, all the birds, all the animals, all the beings on planet Earth. And now see the unconditional love from your heart touching every single human on planet Earth. And keep sending this love and light. And see it now going to the Mother Earth for all the love that she gives us, for nourishing us, for all the food that we have had throughout all of our lives on planet Earth. And see it go into the soil, into the roots of all plants. And how beautiful to do this love therapy for this whole planet Earth. And this is the way that we can contribute the best for the planet Earth, by sending love to others. And now see your consciousness, your energy field expanding outside of planet Earth, moving through all the planes of existence, moving through the 4th plane, the 5th plane, moving through the 6th plane, and see the doors to the 7th plane opening up, and see this beautiful pure white light of the source energy merging your consciousness with the consciousness of all that is. And see this unconditional love of the source, of the creator of all that is, pouring through you like a shower of white light. And now we are ready to walk towards the healing temple in the seventh plane of existence. As you walk closer to the healing temple, set intention. What is it that you would like to heal? If there is a major challenge, a problem, or an issue that you're facing in your life at this time, set an intention to receive a healing, to solve this problem or this issue or this challenge. The healing temple can help you get answers to any questions you have. It can help you heal from any problems or challenges you're facing in your life. And as you walk into the healing temple, walk all around and see yourself being greeted by your guides and angels. You can see the archangels, the gods and the goddesses, all the beautiful divine spiritual beings of your spiritual team. You might see thousands of spiritual beings in this healing temple, all of them ready for us to help us in this journey. And let's now sit down right in the center in a circular shape, holding our hands right and left. And the group healing is much more powerful than just individual. So let's tap into the group power, regardless of when you're watching this. Time is just an illusion. So all the millions of people who are going to watch this at any point in time are all present with us right in this moment, in this now moment. So see yourself in this circle of thousands of people and tapping into this group energy, sending love to one another, supporting each other. And I now call in all the spirit guides, spirit animals of all of us, all the archangels, ascended masters, all the divine spiritual beings whom we don't know the name of, who don't even have a name, in fact. Calling them all in. And I'm now asking for all the spiritual beings who are with us today to send us all their healing light, which consists of this powerful vibration to move through our body, through our energy field, cleaning and cleansing our energy field, releasing the negative emotions, negative entities, limited beliefs, all the falseness that we carry in our energy field, everything that which doesn't serve us for our highest good at this point in time. See it all being released. And you might see as thousands of beams of light hitting upon you on your energy field, cleaning and cleansing your field and helping you raise your vibration. And now we are moving into a silent mantra meditation as this healing from all the spiritual beings continue, helping you with the answers that you seek for the questions of your life, helping you overcome the challenges, of your life, helping you solve the problems and the issues that you're facing in your life at this time, helping you bring more money and abundance into your life, and helping you manifest all that you want to create. This healing power is magical. All you need is just to set intention and surrender to this healing light. There's thousands of beams of light that is coming from thousands of spiritual beings who know exactly what it is that you want at this time. Just surrender and allow the light to do its magic. I now invoke the violet flame of transmutation, and the violet flame is magical. It adds the power to help you release and see yourself sitting in this violet flame as we now do the silent mantra. I will repeat the mantra for 3 times and I will stay silent for the next few minutes. All you need to do is continue imagining yourself sitting in this violet flame, receiving the healing light from beings around you, and hear this mantra in your mind over and over again. Take a deep breath and see yourself releasing and transmuting all the heavy energies being released from you in this violet flame, transmuting into black smoke and then transformed into white light as it goes up. And we are now ready to manifest a new life of higher vibrational frequency, of love, peace, joy, happiness, and satisfaction, contentment. And whatever it is that you wanted to solve, the problem, the challenge, the issue, it is already transmuted. The energy is changed. Now you have to trust that you have already gotten the solution, that the solution has already happened, and you have gotten already what it is that you wanted. And now imagine yourself living a new life. See in front of you yourself living a new life. If it was abundance, see yourself living in abundance of money and joy and happiness. If it was your business that you were manifesting, that you wanted more clients, see yourself being with so many clients around you. If it was peace and joy that you wanted, see yourself being in peace and joy and a happy family life, living at the place that which you wanted to live. See yourself smiling, being so happy and joyous, having all that which you wanted, successful, victory, and feel those beautiful emotions. See yourself successful, achieving all that which you wanted to. And the more you hold this energy of success, this energy of gratitude for having already that which you wanted, the easier for this to happen. See yourself living happily ever after. It's that energy that helps you manifest that. And yes, your story can become living happily ever after if you can, first of all, hold yourself in that vibration. And it is absolutely possible. And there were so many spiritual leaders and teachers who have been an examples for us, who have lived happily ever after stories. So it is possible. And have the faith and the trust that yes, it is possible for me to live happily. And I deserve to be happy. And feel the gratitude now. Thank you for finally being able to achieve all that which I wanted to. And feeling that gratitude now to all the angels, to all the beautiful guides and spiritual beings who are with us today. And saying thank you to the healing temple. You're now ready to slowly come back down. With a beautiful smile on your face, see yourself slowly coming back down through all the planes of existence. Coming slowly back down onto this planet Earth. Coming down into the building that you are in and entering back into your body. And focus on your feet. See all your energy going straight through your feet down into the ground, through the soil, through all the rock layers, going straight deeper down and down and down, touching the heart of Mother Earth and bouncing your energy back up straight through all the layers, entering through your feet, coming back into your heart. Take a deep breath and stretch a little bit. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. How are you all feeling? Put a comment below on how you're feeling. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, if you would like to give me any feedback, you can contact me directly in the link below. Thank you so much. Love and blessings to all of you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.